A double-edged sword. That's the best way I can explain what a credit card is. In one phrase, it would be a double-edged sword. What that means is if you use it properly, it'll be a cool tool to have. If you use it irresponsibly, it's going to be your demise. It's going to ruin you faster than you can realize. In this video, I'm going to explain basic knowledge of credit card. All right, it's going to be a short video, basically the ABCs of credit card. And why I'm doing this, it's because when I first arrived back in Canada, came back, I was 31 years old, and I never used a credit card my entire life. Because in the outside world, in the other side of the world, nobody uses a credit card. The option is there, banks give it to you, but majority of people don't use it. You use your debit card, you use your money, you use your cash. If you have money, you buy something. If you don't, you don't buy, right? And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the income tax in this country. Maybe it's how expensive Canada is. But credit cards is a necessity here. It's a necessity for two things, actually, right? One is if you know your bill, if you know your payroll is going to hit your account in a week, but you gotta buy groceries today, you gotta fill up your gas today, you gotta pay a bill today, you can use your credit card for a time being. And the other reason why it's necessary in this country is because of a credit score system. And I'll make a whole another video about the credit score, but credit score is important in this country, unfortunately, and that's why credit cards are important in this country. So since it's important in this country, let's learn how to use them properly. And that's why this video is intended for newcomers. All right, so before I explain how to use it responsibly, let me start by saying this. Credit card is not your money. It's the bank's money, all right? I know some of you are saying, duh, but you'd be surprised. And I don't blame them again. People don't use credit card outside. Banks over here are just giving new people credit card that don't know the concept of credit card, and they think it's free money. They think it's their money. No. It's a loan. It's the bank's money, and they expect you to pay back. All right? That's number one. You got to keep in your mind, it's not your money to use freely. You're going to have to pay back that amount. So how do you use it responsibly? Simple. Simple, but not simple at the same time. Don't overspend. Don't go over your means. What that means is if your monthly salary is $3,000 a month, don't be spending $10,000 on your credit card. You already dug yourself a hole. That's it. Good luck. All right? So use it as if it is your money. That is as if it's the money in your bank account. Right? Don't overspend. Why don't overspend? So how does the bank bill you the credit card? There's something called a 22-day interest-free grace period, right? The billing cycle, basically. What that means is when you use the credit card and the bank sends you the bill, you got 22 days, or the payment due date. You don't have to calculate what's 22 days. There's a payment due date on the statement. If you pay the balance means what you used in the last month, because basically you're paying for what you used before, by the way. Again, working in a bank, people coming fresh off the boat, they don't even understand that concept. You're paying what you used before. The statement is what you used, the whole amount in that 22 bill cycle, 22 days. If you pay that amount, there's no interest involved. You don't pay an extra cent, you don't pay an extra dollar, you pay what you borrowed. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that the best kind of loan? If you have two options, option number one, you take a loan and you pay exactly what you owe, or option number two, you take a loan and you pay more than what you owe. Who's going to take option number two? So why would you do that to yourself, right? Because on the same statement, the bank will tell you balance statement, or minimum payment. And that's the trap right there. The bank wishes you pay the minimum payment always. The minimum payment is usually $10, depending on how much you spend, how much is your statement, but it's usually $10, right? Now imagine you spend $1,000. Your statement is $1,000. The minimum payment is $10. And you go ahead and go, oh, okay, I'll pay $10. Next bill, you got $990 that you missed, that you didn't pay, plus interest. By the way, I don't know if I already said this or not, but credit card has the highest interest rate. It's anywhere between 18% to 24%. Usually it's 22%, 24% annually. That's absolutely insane. So you got $990 from your previous, plus interest, plus obviously you're still using your credit card. So the statement of whatever you used, and then you go pay your minimum payment again, another $10. And now, like, it's gonna like snowball into this. I've seen people in hole, man, they cannot get out. I'm telling you, it's like a forest fire, and you're trying to turn off the forest fire with a cup of water. They're in $30,000, $40,000 credit card debt, and they're paying $1,000 a month. What's that gonna do? That's gonna do absolutely nothing, and they know it. They're complaining to me. They're telling me, "Oh, I can't pay. I'm barely paying the interest." Yeah, that's how the bank make money. That's the whole concept. Now, let's say for whatever reason, because again, this is Canada. I understand we go through tough times, right? Let's say there was an emergency, and I hope it was an emergency. I hope you don't overspend the credit card and go because you wanted to buy a Gucci bag, or you wanted to go travel on a luxury vacation, or, you know, let's assume that there was an emergency, an actual emergency where you had to use the credit card more than your means to save a life, to save someone in your family, or medical emergency, whatever it is. And you can't pay the balance, the full balance, all right? Pay something. The bank says pay at least the minimum, which is $10 before the due date. I say pay as much as you can. Let's assume it's $1,000 and you can't pay back $1,000. Don't just pay $10. If you can pay $500, pay $500 from now, right? If you can pay $750, pay $750. Don't pay the minimum $10. Don't pay the minimum balance. Pay as much as you possibly can, but you gotta pay something before the due date or on the due date, because that's how you build your credit score, and that's how you're allowed to continue using your credit card. Because if you miss a few payments, the bank is gonna take your card away, and that's a whole nother story. It goes to collection, and that's a whole nother video. And that's how you build your score, right? If every time you pay on the payment due date or just before the payment due date. All right. So things I want you to get in your mind. 1, it's not your money. 2, use it responsibly. Don't go over your means. Always try to pay off the balance so that you don't end up paying interest. And 3, if you're forced, don't pay the minimum payment. Pay as much as you can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that was useful. Leave a like if you liked it, if you found it educational, right? Share it with someone who doesn't know what a credit card is, or if someone coming new and doesn't have a good idea of what a credit card is. Leave a comment on what you want to know from the Canadian banking system. I would love to make a video. I would love to hear your opinions on it. And that's it for now. Until next time, be debt free.